Obamacare, if you put that on balance with all those other accomplishments, there's no way a fair-minded person can say he deserves 91% negative coverage.
Yeah. And, Dana, there's a good point here, briefly, about the hurricane coverage. I think that was a turning point in some ways when people even to say that that's a commander-in-chief.
Well, it's interesting.
Two hurricanes.
So this poll study was done in the last 3 months, but it wasn't done in the last month. And actually, if you just took the last week, he made a deal with the Democrats. The media should like that. The hurricane coverage, I wrote down, is great. He said he wanted to get rid of DACA, but actually he wants the law to pass. He said he would sign it. He also, his legislative director said today, he's not going to necessarily tie the funding of the wall to DACA, so the media should like that. There's fewer leaks, so the White House is running better under General Kelly. There's wins at the United Nations. You can't deny that. Economic growth was revised upward to 3% for the first time in many moons, maybe like 6 moons, I think.
Yes.
Tonight, the president is having a bipartisan dinner with members of the Problem Solvers Caucus. So all of these things a year ago would have been definitely thumbs down to the conservative media. So now, should the conservative media is like, okay, we're okay with all of that.
Yeah.
And the mainstream media, you would think, would actually appreciate those things.
That's a very good list you just made there.
It was almost as good as Jesse's, but half as long.
Yes.
To say it. Ice cream social.
So Kimberly,
ice cream social.
Let's switch over to the point that Joy Reid is making. I can't believe that she actually believes it, but what if she does believe that? If you're in that kind of bubble, that you believe that this is the worst time to be a human?
Have you looked on YouTube?
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah.
Like, there are people breaking down, freaking out. They're in their bubble of misery and discontent, and they actually really believe it. I don't think there's a bunch of fakers out there. I think they actually feel like this is so upsetting. I don't know what's happening, what direction the country is going to. But guess what? There are also a large number of people that feel like, okay, guess what? Someone's finally listening to us and embracing the values that we love and believe in this country about the working class men and women that have been left behind. So there's plenty of things, refer back to Jesse's list of accomplishments and things that are actually going quite well. And if you're into the numbers and you're into jobs and you're into the unemployment numbers and actually, infrastructure and things that are happening here, you can say there's a lot positive to point to, but you won't hear it in the mainstream media echo chamber, which just resonates with sort of this vitriol for the president and really will not have they lack the honesty to actually put forward what is happening that's positive. So a lot of people out there think it's all bad because they're not hearing it depending on what their news source is.
So let me tell you what I hear. So today I'm reading the paper and it says that median income in the United States in 2016 was the highest in history.
Well, since 1999, right?
No, I think it said in history. Was it history?
I have previous record,
Okay,
99.
so I think to myself, wow, good news for the American middle class. But then I think, wait a minute, that was 2016. And Donald Trump was running, and this is picking up on what Kimberly was saying, and he was saying, hey, so many people being left behind, people are unhappy, blah, blah, blah. And I think, wait a minute, but we had the highest median income?
Do you know why? Because they knew Trump was winning.
Oh, they knew Trump.
Trump was winning. And Trump had a psychological effect on the wages.
Oh, is that what it is?
He had a retro effect.
But I think he plays. I think he plays to anger and resentment, and then people, when you point it out, people say, "Well."
But isn't that Joy Reid right now? She's doing that. She's playing to anger and resentment.
I don't think. In fact, what she said in the interview was very interesting to me. She said, Trump supporters watch Fox News. They're unavailable to her. She doesn't believe she can persuade them.
Right.
Well, I think George H.W. Bush ran against. Clinton ran against Bush 41 and said the economy was terrible. Meanwhile, that economy was on the comeback trail. So, both parties do it, but Trump will take credit and will, I'm sure, improve median income wages. To Joy Reid, it's in the Trump era, what it's bad to be? A Democrat. Also bad to be a member of MS-13 or ISIS or someone who works for CNN.
Are you comparing her to ISIS?
No.
I just want to make sure you're not.
Those things right now are not good things to be in the Trump era.
You know what, though? I would argue that it's a good economic model. You're seeing the success. Look, there are certain people that did really well being hypercritical of Obama. So I don't know. I can't think of them offhand. But
well, also, everyone in media is doing better financially in the era of Trump.
Right.
So he's thriving off of the fights he has with the media. And the good news for him is that most people don't actually get their news from the mainstream media anymore. They're getting it from social media. And that